The laptop computing space has really evolved into a three-horse race now. Of course, you have the heavyweights in Microsoft Windows laptops, and you have the Apple MacBooks. But now, Google has really stepped up their game with Chrome OS to the point where we get devices like this. This is the Lenovo Chromebook Duet, which is a 2-in-1 hybrid laptop tablet device. What is it a competitor to? Is it an iPad competitor? Is it a laptop competitor? A Surface competitor? What exactly is it? We're going to review this baby right now. I'm Alex, and you are now entering the Sypnotix. The Lenovo Chromebook Duet already has something right off the bat that a lot of competitors don't offer you, especially in this $279 price point, which is an attachable keyboard that is included in the purchase for $279. That's already a huge win because the Surfaces, the iPads, they all require you to buy an additional magnetic keyboard. This one's included in the purchase, and it also gives you this fabric like back housing. It's a magnetic housing that claps on. So basically it's a case that really adds to the aesthetics of this device. That fabric case is actually really nice. I like it a whole lot. And that's something that if they sold as a accessory, I probably would have bought it because I really like the feel of it. So right off the bat, just like that, if you buy a starter iPad or you get a Surface Go, you have to buy those accessories. You don't have to here. It's included in the price point at $279 starting. When it comes to the build quality of this device, I'm actually very impressed with it too. When you first hold this device after unboxing it, you're like thinking to yourself, there's no way this thing is just $279. The finish on here is very nice. This is a two-tone slab of metal with this kind of like matte feeling on the top, and I love how they have a color dividing it up. This is just really beautiful. I love this baby blue color Lenovo used here. There's minimal branding, which is also great. You just have a Chrome logo and then you have the Lenovo logo, and that's simply it. Like there's nothing else on here. It's very beautiful. And the bezels in the front, yes, there are bezels, but it's not that drastic to the point where you're like, wow, why do we have this here? This is actually really nice where you can use it either as a tablet or as a laptop screen, and you won't feel bothered by the bezels here. I like it a lot. And that also allows you to house the front-facing camera, which you can use for Skype calls or, Zoom calls or whatever we use our front-facing camera for, like Google Duo. Some people might dislike the fact that this only has one port, which it does. It has one USB-C port, which uses it to charge and also to transfer data. Yeah, I'm not throwing heavy, intensive things on here. This is more like a secondary device or a note-taking device, if I'm being honest. At least that's how I've been using it, to play some games as well. Speaking of playing games, this device uses a MediaTek Helio P60T processor. Wow, that is a handful to say, but it has 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. So that's actually not a lot. Yes, Chrome OS doesn't require a lot of specs to run it, but we do have Android apps here now, and there is no expandable storage or anything like that on this device. So you are just stuck with what we have there, and 64 gigabytes of storage is not that much for some of your apps and some photos and things like that. So don't expect too much storage going on. You got to use the cloud, your Google Drive and other cloud syncing things for your apps to really make this thing effective, if that makes sense. And when you do get the games going on here, the games actually run relatively well. There are some graphically intensive games that I played on here that actually played to the point where, yes, there were frame drops here and there, but it wasn't so bad that it was unplayable. Like there wasn't a lag that just made you say like, okay, I'm not gonna sit by and play with this because it just drags on too much. This actually is rather enjoyable. Like I actually enjoy playing games on here, and this is something I would play leisurely in bed, or like if I'm on the couch and just wanting to play a card game or something, this would work for sure. So I was relatively happy with the performance in terms of gaming. Now, browsing the internet with multiple tabs open and switching between pages and things like that and opening apps, it's a little slow. Yes, loading up a page with a lot of graphics and things like that, it does take a little bit of time. And also opening apps does slow down a little bit more than what I would have on the Google Pixelbook Go, which of course that makes sense. That's a different price point, a different genre. But for the most part, if you're willing to sit through while the apps open just a little longer or the page load just a little longer each time, you're actually getting a lot of bang for your buck for this little device here. I also really like how this device looks with and without the accessories mounted on it. So even without the things on it, it's a very nice, sleek tablet to hold in your hand. It's really light and it actually feels really nice on your fingers. I love the build quality of this, and even with the magnetic attachments to it with the keyboard and also the backing on it, it actually feels like a very high quality device. I would not have guessed that this was $279 if I didn't know. So I do feel like, at least for the build and what you actually have in your hands, it feels above the price it sells for. Now, when it comes to actually using the keyboard that is provided, when you connect it with the magnetic connector, it instantly pairs and you just start typing and it's instant. It works instantly. It's not that great. I have to say I'm not too happy with the typing experience on here, but I mean, this is something they expected. They crunch down your full-size keyboard into whatever this is, and a lot of the buttons, a lot of what we do need to use quite often in terms of how we type, they're shrunk. They're shrunken into like this really compact, narrow keys, and I don't like it that much. The keys are also plasticky. There's no backlighting, which is of course expected for a $279 device. But I'm just the main complaint I have here is it's way too compact. I feel like this is a little too compact. However, like I said, this is included in the price point, so it's better than nothing. So I can't really knock it down too much with a pre-included keyboard on here, whereas most competitors, you have to buy a more expensive keyboard from an OEM. The same goes with the trackpad. The trackpad is serviceable, the gestures work, there's not a lot of delay in it, but it's also really cheap, it's really plasticky, and it's kind of narrow and small, but it works. I mean, it does its job. So once again, it's included in the price point. It's not an additional purchase. I really can't complain too much. It is a budget thing. It's like one of these things where it's deceptive because you feel the shell of it, you feel the body of it, and you feel the casing, and it's like, wow, okay, this is very high quality. But when you actually open it up and you start using it, it's not that high quality. You know, it's like an illusion that it's high quality, but when you start using it, it's not. So that's why it's a little deceiving. But once again, think about it. It's $279. This is serviceable enough, I think, for a lot of people out there, especially students who would just want to use this in college to take notes, play an occasional game during their break time, and then use it to sketch or something like that. Wow, this actually is a very good deal in my opinion. It actually handles enough. If the processor was just a little faster, this would absolutely be a no-brainer. If you are an aforementioned student and you do have off time to enjoy some media on here, it's actually a pretty good experience too. It's a 10.1-inch full HD display. It's an IPS display. It's glossy. I like the display. The colors are good. Even the audio experience is not too bad here. It doesn't get too loud, but it's dual speakers at the top of the device when you're holding it in landscape mode.
For all the time. So since I haven't seen Shippuden, I can't judge her, but judging her on the 2004 series, she doesn't have a mentor like Kakashi or Jirai, because Kakashi blows.
And one thing I do like about this is the kickstand's actually on the fabric back casing that's magnetically clasped on there and not on the actual tablet itself. So you can actually just hold it without anything and you can have a really thin tablet to watch stuff on, or you can put on that magnetic casing, get the kickstand on, and you can actually get a few different angles or different viewing angles going on there. You can also keep it mounted on the keyboard and just have a full extension, but you don't need that. That's one thing I like about this. You don't actually need the keyboard there in order to have it propped open for you to use it as a stand. You can just keep it on that magnetic back. So I love the versatility here and the different ways that it works. And if you want to just get everything going and just pick it up and leave, you just magnetically clasp everything back in. It folds nicely into like a notebook. I like how that looks and like how that feels. It feels like a very nice little notebook you would carry to take notes in. And that's one thing that the Lenovo Duet, Chromebook Duet does really well. It actually blends in and it makes it feel like it's something you want to have. Lenovo says you can get 10 hours of battery life here, and from my stress test of this, I actually ran 9 hours of gaming consecutively, like actually graphic intensive gaming for 9 hours straight through on this tablet laptop, and that's actually pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it, especially for something this thin and lightweight. and this size, I'm pretty impressed that the battery life was this good on it. I do love talking about Chromebooks because there's really not much you need to talk about in terms of the software. This is Chrome OS at its best. It instantly boots up, it instantly wakes up, it just is ready to go. And the Android apps are pre-installed on here, of course, because we do have the Google Play Store on all our Chrome OS devices now. So that adds a whole lot of flexibility. If you haven't used a Chrome OS device in a while, Chrome OS has completely evolved because of not only the Android apps, but Linux as well. And now with the new GeForce Now capabilities, you can actually play AAA games on here using GeForce Now. So there's a whole bunch of possibilities for the Chromebook. Once again, I'm Alex from the Sypnotix. Check out our website, sypnotix.com. We're going to have a full written review of this video in that website, so check that one out for more details. It's going to be a little more detailed than this review. And we also have a couple of other Lenovo laptops that we're going to feature on the channel very soon. We have another Chromebook, and we also have a gaming laptop from Lenovo. They sent us those to review, so we're going to have that very soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know what you guys think of the Duet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, look at that. You made it to the end of the video. Be sure to subscribe, follow us at all our social media links, and also definitely check out our website, sypnotix.com. You won't regret it.